So a man play acting as a woman, aka transgender, shot and killed 3 children and 3 adults in Nashville today. I'm sure that most of you have already seen the news story, probably know the details. It was a Christian school. He used rifles. The cops took him down, I guess. I don't know. I must admit, I didn't really look too closely at the story because I just didn't. I'm just not really that curious about it, honestly. Just another mentally deranged scumbag hurting innocent people. I mean, it's not really what I would call, uncommon these days, unfortunately. There is one thing, though, that I'm curious about. Usually, we could expect the leftist media to immediately prioritize the gun control bullshit talking points when something like this happens. I mean, it's normal. Usually they jump right to it, right? What about this time? I'm genuinely curious about this. Will they ramp up the scary black rifle rhetoric talk since it was a transgender? Or will they ignore it completely and let it pass them by? Seriously, I think about it. I guess they could always omit the trans part and just go straight to black rifle, but most people will still know about the trans part, won't they? So they will come up against that eventually. I mean, the news is out now, right? It can't really be hidden. So even by dragging this incident out for propaganda purposes, they'll have to deal with the dirt on the bottom of it, the trans part. So what will they do? Is gun control more important than the trans movement? Will gun control override trans control? I really can't even make a prediction on this because I really don't know what the hierarchy of bullshit looks like for them. I guess we'll have to just wait and see. But if I had to bet, I'd bet on omit the trans, focus on the guns. Because one thing I know they won't do is address the mental illness side of it because, they can't. He was obviously very mentally deranged, but they can't touch that here because the shooter had a protected class status as a freaking tranny. It'll be interesting to see where they go with that. Might give us some insight in, to the hierarchy of, the stuff they push on us. Speaking of stuff they push on us and mental derangement, President Sock Puppet had to speak on this, and here is how that went.
Waiting to hear what the president would
What's that say? Woman.
About it. It was a small business
Keep
event,
that in mind.
but we were told he wanted to address the horrific shooting of 3 young children and 3 adults. But when he came to the podium, this is what he said.
Oh, no. What the president
My name is
say?
Joe Biden. I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband. And I ate Jenny's ice cream, chocolate chip. I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream. By the way, I have a whole refrigerator full upstairs.
Okay. Joining me now from New Hampshire.
Okay, yeah. So that was the clip from Fox News. Pretty infuriating, right? He came out to talk about the school shooting, but talking about, ice cream. And that was the clip that was shown. Okay, now I'm going to show you the full clip with full context, not the whole thing. It's too long. I'm trying to make a point here because that first clip, right, is infuriating. Talking about a school shooting and he's out there making jokes and talking about ice cream. Thousands or millions of people, however many people watch Fox News, saw that. So here's what actually happened.
So with that, it is my great honor and privilege to introduce to you the President of the United States, Mr. President Joe Biden.
That was the portion that Fox News did not show you. It's starting to look a little different, isn't it? I wonder why that could be.
My name is Joe Biden.
Okay, we've seen this part, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit.
It's a delight to have you all here. And who are those good-looking kids back there?
Oh, God, he saw the kids.
Are your kids
That's
all 4
not
of them?
good.
Well, stand up, guys.
Yeah.
Like you, I had two brothers, three in our family, three brothers, and one sister. And my sister is smarter than all of us.
Okay.
Not a joke.
So you get the idea.
Who's number three? Your twins? You guys
Okay,
twins?
so now he's just doing the
Okay.
pandering
All right.
president.
Just
Pretty
glad to
standard.
see you all. Thanks for coming with Mom, okay? You got to take care of your mom. Dads are much harder to raise, but,
So funny.
Before I begin to speak, the reason I spend a little time in the kids, I just want to speak very briefly about the school shooting in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay, so a little bit different, right? Here's the thing. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. So full disclosure, I hate that piece of garbage. Okay? I do. Most of you that have been watching me for, any amount of time, really, know where I stand on President Sock Puppet, okay? It's not a secret. I've hated him since before it was even cool to hate him, or uncool, I guess, depending on where you stand, whatever. My reasons for that they're far too numerous to go through right now, and that's not what this video's about. I just wanted to, make sure that was clear, because what I'm going to say next might sound like a defense of him, and I want to dispel any notion of that. This walking piece of trash is beyond redemption, just so that we're clear. With that being said, those two clips, when compared side by side, demonstrate a whole other problem. A different problem than the demented sock puppet that we elected into office. The clip that Fox News aired was what thousands, like I said, thousands or millions, however many people watch Fox News. That's what they saw. And that's what they saw as Biden's reaction to the school shooting. Was that honestly what you saw? After seeing the second clip, I must admit, I saw the first one first as regular news, right? I was floored. I was actually thinking that he had come out to talk about the school shooting and was joking about ice cream. And I'm sure that's what a lot of people thought, because that's how it was posed. I mean, it's not totally unbelievable, right? Like, that scenario could definitely happen. We've seen him do all kinds of stuff just like that. So I could believe it. Was it any less infuriating? No, but it was definitely believable. I had to do some digging for the second clip, and it was pretty far down the searched results list. You want to know why? Because the first half of the results were from networks on the other side, the leftists. They completely omitted the entire beginning and just picked up where he started talking about the shooting at the very end. So one half of the country gets one set of news for his reaction, and the other half gets the other set of news. Both sets of reactions match up to reinforce their ideology on their respective sides. And the truth is way down at the bottom, out of sight. Now, I am used to this. That's why I go looking for the truth, because I didn't know it was going to be a Fox News clip. But once I realized it was, I was like, you know what? Better check that. And here's why. I constantly rail against the left and the echo chamber they have built. But we have to be honest about this. That piece from Fox News was just as bad. As in, it's the same damn thing. It's the same thing that I hate about the leftist bootlicker networks. A lie is a lie is a lie. What Fox News did, that's a lie. It's a lie of omission, but there's no difference to me, because I didn't ask to be lied to. Nobody should want that. Not if you're honest with yourself and therefore wanting the truth. Not only did Fox News lie with that clip, but they also kept referring to the shooter as a she. It was a man in woman face. So on one hand, they go along to get along and toe the leftist lies. Then in literally the same clip, they lie to reinforce right-wing ideology. That's 2 lies, in only a few minutes, in case anyone's counting. So what's going on here? Why go along with one, then invent another to shore up opposition? Can you say controlled opposition? That's a newer term to describe this phenomena, but when you get right down to the bare bones of what they're doing, it's just plain old division, man. It's fake news, and it's designed to keep people fighting over their sides, but also to keep them walking down the same track together. Because you see, when we're divided and fighting each other, it makes the job that much easier for the Uniparty in DC. So long as we aren't focused on them, right? Right. This is dirty propaganda, okay? It's just tricks, but it also shows us how we got here as a country. We pick a side, we get our updates to reinforce our side, and we start fighting with each other. We learn to hate each other, and those in power get to laugh at you while they get rich and sell you out. Make no mistake, Fox News thinks you are just as stupid as CNN's audience. If they didn't, they would not lie to you like CNN does to its viewers. This is only the latest example of this. It's a long list, and it's been happening for a very long time. When you take all of this in and realize just what they've done and continue to do to you, makes you wonder, what else might you have been given bad info about? If you're an objective person, it should shake you up a little bit. Now, what can you believe? Good luck figuring that out. I would recommend starting with who you know is lying to you and work backwards from there. If the mainstream media is making mouth sounds, the chances are high that it's just fake news or noise. Maybe both. But I can tell you, the more of this kind of stuff you see, the more you start to realize just how far down the rabbit hole we really are. This has been going on for a very long time, and it always kind of makes me want to do a reality check on myself too. We have to be honest with ourselves more than anything right now, because that integrity acts like a suit of armor. It helps shed the lies that are literally flying at us from all sides. It was a big world before the internet. A lot of people say it made the world smaller, and in some ways, I guess it did. Personally, more than anything else, I think it made the world more monotone, as in Soviet bloc khaki. Good day.